say that AutoQA is alive. We went live about 10:02 this morning when I first was shown the demo of finally having everything put together. So now we've started today testing the entire platform with our customers on our customer data and our forms that we're utilizing. So before we were kind of just using pieces of it, but now we're starting to fill out the actual platform, which is pretty cool. So let me show you this again. Remember, under 100 seats, under 50 seats, 20 seats, 10 seats. The smaller you are, the more we want to try to help you. Using Excel or using Google Sheets to do your QA, hopefully we can totally revolutionize how you're doing that. So let me show you this. Again, I wanted this to be as simple as humanly possible. Bells and whistles will start to add on to it. But the main thing is I want this to be simple to use. And number two, I want it to be able to score your calls effectively and have it where you trust the actual score. And I'm telling you, we're there. So let me show you how this works. So again, we've already talked kind of about the form. So you'll be able to set up your employees, set up your agents, upload your agents, upload your forms. The forms are pretty basic, which I love, but they're extremely customizable so that we can utilize what you want and how you use the form. So again, you have a question, you have the context of it, right? So, an opening. Our opening is that the agent must say, "Thank you for calling XYZ Credit Union," and give the agent's name. Whatever that is for you, opening, closing, part of the QA form, whatever that is, we're going to give the context and tell ChatGPT what you're actually looking for and what your QA staff is scoring and how they're scoring it right now so that it can copy exactly what you're doing. All right. So once we have our form in there, we're going to click on the Analyze button. All right. And let's choose me. See how I do here. We're going to select that same form. And right now we're just selecting recordings. And that's kind of how you're doing it if you're using Excel, right? You're listening to recordings that you've downloaded. We'll get this to the point where you could scale this and do multiple things at once. But at this point, this is kind of where we're at. And then all I'm going to do is click Analyze. We have found that we're about 20 to 30 seconds, give or take the length of the call for the scoring and the outputs to come back. The only score you're going to see here is we're just testing the score of the call. So we have other outputs where we can talk about, what are 4 things that the agent did great? What are the 4 things they need to work on? Giving a confidence score. Those are all going to be part of our MVP. But for right now, we wanted to test the score, make sure that the most important thing is that you guys feel comfortable that the score that ChatGPT is giving you with how we're prompting is right. So let's see what this comes back with and how I did. All right, so as you see, I did pretty well on this call. Now, I will tell you, we have scored this with our agents, right? They gave this 100. This is giving me a 96.36. I'll show you why there's a little bit of difference. But I've done this same call probably 10 times, and every time it's come back with the same score, which made me feel extremely comfortable that we're starting to get there. So if you look at, again, the scoring, right now we'll just tell you, hey, here's the question, yes or no. We can get to the point where if it says no, that they didn't, why didn't they? Like all of that stuff is just in the prompting. It's not a big deal. But again, I want to know that the score is right now. And here's the reason. It's because the auto fails, right? It did not auto fail, but it counted them as points, and NAs were 0. So again, that made me feel comfortable too, right? Because none of those were auto fail, but it just scored them because we're in a binary mode of a yes or no. It didn't just totally take it out. So that's something we got to work on the prompting. But as you can see, right, within 30 seconds, we're getting a score back on the actual scorecard. We're also getting sentiment scores on customer sentiment, and we're getting sentiment scores on our agent sentiment as well. So again, we're alive. This thing now works. We're testing this with our customer data, as I've said. We're building the prompts out. We're finding out what are the other outputs that will add value to you that we think we can provide consistently, but it's here. 2024 is going to be amazing. Hopefully that this revolutionizes a lot of what you're doing, especially you smaller guys that need a tool that can get you in kind of the AI world that can make you much more efficient, and it's going to be so cheap. We're not gouging anybody with costs. excited to see what you guys think about this.